Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. And this is my weekly show where my guests and I each pick a film related in some shape or form. And hopefully by the end of this episode, you have two movies to go check out. And it is the second Thursday of the month, and it is my pleasure. Joining me is the fearless leader of the SPM Crew Podcasting Network. It is Mike Hilty.
My Anaconda don't want none unless you got funds, hun.
Definitely
What's
don't want
up?
this Anaconda.
What's up?
Talking about.
How's it going, Shane?
We are doing fine for talking about some cheesy B monster movies from the late 90s. And yes, we're going to talk about 1997's Anaconda and 1999's Lake Placid, which combined is still shorter than the last two Avatar movies. Because Anaconda, brisk hour 29 minutes. Lake Placid, even brisker hour and 22 minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
Especially with Anaconda when it's crash.
Oh my God.
But let's dive into this, Mike. So, this is a story about a National Geographic film crew is taken hostage by an insane hunter who forces them along on his quest to capture the world's largest and deadliest snake. Which my wife would like me to remind everybody that they are constrictors, despite the fact that they don't really act like that too often.
No.
Or the trailer for the new Anaconda movie.
True.
This is from Luis Loza, director, and we have the one of the worst accents, starring one of the worst accents in the history of movies. It's John Voight. As Paul Cerrone. And then we have Jennifer Lopez, which I would like to just point out something real quick. So, fun fact, when I was a kid back in the 90s, I honestly thought there was two Jennifer Lopez's.
Oh, buddy.
I thought there was the actress Jennifer Lopez and the musician.
Oh no.
To find out that no, they were indeed the same person. So the teacher from that Francis Ford Coppola Robin Williams movie Jack and the star of this movie are indeed the same ones that Jenny from the block. So, and to my stepbrother would always sing Waiting for Tonight, and me being an ignorant like 8 or 9 year old being like, what's tonight? And he would never tell me. So,
buddy.
some fun Shane lore dropped on this Anaconda episode. We also have Eric Stoltz, who is so close to being like a big star, but never quite got there. We even have Ice Cube. And then we got Jonathan Hyde of Jumanji fame. Mm-hmm. And oh wow, we got Owen Wilson.
I completely forgot Owen Wilson was in this, and then I was like, oh shit, that's right. This was back in the day when Owen Wilson was predominantly more of a dramatic actor. So
he was in this, Armageddon.
He was in The Haunting.
Yep. This was post Bottle Rocket.
Yeah.
But most importantly, Frank Welker is the Anaconda.
Can't forget about that.
Because Anaconda does make sounds and shit. So,
yes, it does.
Well, Mike, what are your general thoughts on Anaconda?
Shane, we've been friends a long time, right? We've been friends.
Are you going to apologize to me for making me watch Anaconda again?
Yeah. I think I am, because this movie sucks. It's just so bad. It's so bad. This plot doesn't make a lick of sense. These special effects are they're dated. They look rough. And then also, the only thing missing from this is the Anaconda actually talking. Like, I think the only thing that could have made this remotely better is if the Anaconda would have looked at Paul and been like, Paul, and then they would have just
Ellen.
they just would have
Straight up
had
Jurassic Park 3.
yeah, if they just would have had a fist fight with one another, you know, like it regurgitates the anaconda regurgitates like a human body, which it goes to we go to great lengths to find this out that like, hey, the anaconda regurgitates bodies out and it's just like it kills people again. I'm like, yeah, that's not how science works, but okay. But if an anaconda were to regurgitate somebody out far enough to where it could have the fist protruding from its sides and they would get into a fist fight with John Voight, I think that this movie would have been an all-timer.
Oh my. So I will give it credit. I do think the Anaconda looks cool when it's a puppet.
Yes, it's
And then it
when
goes full blown CGI and just like, hey.
hey, this and it's not just full-blown CGI, it's full-blown 90s CGI. When yeah, we're in the early days of CGI and it though when when the anaconda is either on fire or when the anaconda is chasing John Voight going up a ladder, yeah, it's not good. But John Voight is a total creep in this. What?
Whatever the hell accent he was trying to pull off.
I'm sure the great people of the country of Paraguay are like, what is this? Like,
He's
what is
like,
he doing?
you're not like a snake. No, no, no.
It's 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 like that accent feels like he was doing an impression of Francis Ford Coppola and he had a stroke in the middle of it and it just stuck. Like I don't understand what John Voight was doing with that accent because the accent doesn't bring anything to the table. Like he could have just had an American accent and just called it a day, but he didn't.
Well, this so where to start? So John Voight, yes. Not only is his accent terrible, but this is the most over the top, ridiculous performance. Like it just screams, "I'm a bad guy."
Well,
So
yes.
there's
Between
that.
well, between the creepy, leery looks that he gives Jennifer Lopez and the fact that he manipulates Owen Wilson to the point where he like brings him to his side, like yeah, it's just there's a
Which was
lot
not gonna
about
lie, that was completely unconvincing.
oh no,
Um, like
absolutely
Owen
not.
Wilson's heel turn was wholly unconvincing. Um, the fact that the two main like survivors in this are two singers
Yeah,
and not actors. Like
yeah,
this is early Jennifer Lopez. So like obviously she had Selena, which leaned into a specific wheelhouse of hers being a singer. Um, not a particularly strong lead in this. And
nope.
Ice Cube's just kind of being like Ice Cube.
Ice Cube is shouting a lot. That's
Yep.
about it. And
Um, Jonathan Hyde, great character actor. Enjoy he plays his role perfect.
he's 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 the angry
Rich,
historical
rich,
guy, and that's
rich white
about
dude.
yep, that's about it. Plays the same role in The Mummy, plays the same role in Jumanji. Yeah,
So
it's the
like they did a good bit of casting there. But and like Eric Stoltz is not particularly interesting.
no, he's not. I just find the whole premise of this movie to be what are we doing here? Like they're
None
trying to make
like
a doc.
barely any of these characters are believable.
Oh yeah,
Um,
for sure.
I don't even remember they were National Geographic people because that's not even important. It's just
No,
like these people are just on a boat. You know,
they're
they're trying to
literally on
find
a boat,
indigenous tribes
which
and
we find it at the very end, and
Because
all
they were staying away from the goddamn. They're not dumb white people
no.
and other
Mm,
minorities who are dragged along by the dumb white person, Eric Stoltz. Um,
right.
so, and I know John Voight wasn't supposed to be a white person, but
What?
it's still the 90s.
Right.
Um, I'll give this movie credit for a couple of cool shots. Like
Okay.
that shot where like John Voight's getting like eaten
Hmm.
and we see inside the snake. That was inspired. That was pretty cool. Um, whenever the snake's practical, I thought it looked pretty cool, especially the poster
Yeah.
where it's just like this the eyes. Um, trying to think positives. Positives. The wasp in the throat thing, that was pretty freaky. It was pretty twisted. I could give the movie some credit there. Um, positives. Positives.
I will shout out the dialogue where Owen Wilson was talking about how being in the jungle makes him horny. The 90s, man. The 90s.
This is so aggressively 90s. This
Hmm.
is such an aggressively 90s movie. We did get to see a giant anaconda on fire, still acting like a killing machine. So, like, not realistic, but cool. That's
Yeah.
something cool. I could give the movie credit for that. Um, positives outside of that, not really. This
Not
movie's pretty bad.
This movie is pretty bad. Danny Trejo is in this for a quick cup
Hot
of
minute.
coffee. Um, yeah, I'm very sorry that I made you watch this. Like,
Which is funny, Mike, because I actually did watch this about 2 years ago for our bad movie marathon.
mm,
Um, here's the thing. I don't know about you, Mike. I'm not the kind of person that likes watching bad movies for the humor of it.
no, me either.
Like, I know a lot of people who love The Room. I do not. If I never watch The Room ever again, I'd be happy.
Hmm.
I don't like laughing at movies. I like laughing with movies who are trying to make me laugh. I don't like laughing at movies.
Hmm.
This movie made me want to laugh at it.
Yeah.
I was casually just sitting there, popped this on, luckily on Netflix. And got to journey through this because I had this on VHS. I watched this a lot growing up.
A like 12-year-old me who watched this, so like I had a pretty big VHS collection.
Hmm.
This movie I was really excited for, and then I saw it in theaters and was like, oh. And I got the VHS, never watched it once. Unlike the next movie that we're going to talk about, which I watched quite a bit.
Oh, does this mean you're good? Do you have anything else to add about Anaconda?
This sprawled a very wide franchise for some strange reason, with lots of sequels and such, including a crossover Lake Placid versus Anaconda. So cool. Good for them for doing that. And I don't know, the more I
Oh
see
my
preview,
God. This is starring Robert Englund,
I mean,
Freddy Krueger himself
I
is
don't
in Lake Placid
I
versus Anaconda,
I
and
don't know
it's
what he was thinking.
PS1 CGI graphics.
Yeah.
My God, Mike, you just opened up my mind. Because like what a time this was. Because you had Anaconda, you had Lake Placid, you had Deep Blue Sea, which Deep Blue Sea is one that I own and still go back and watch because
That has perhaps the best twist halfway through it of any of these like genre movies as possible. It's,
Samuel L. Jackson.
that
And
speech
this is
was
before
epic.
he even had a plane through full of these muffin snakes.
I would like to thank you for not picking that movie to pair with this one because I quite enjoyed the next movie that we're going to talk about. Again,
Well,
it's
Mike, if you ever choose Deep Blue Sea, I'm 100% picking Snakes on a Plane.
noted.
Noted.
Noted. Okay.
Noted.
All
So
right.
our next movie is 1999's Lake Placid, a first time watch for me. So four people attempt to stop a gigantic crocodile who's terrorizing residents in Black Lake, Maine. And this is from director Steve Miner, who I oh he directed he directed Halloween H2O. Interesting.
Directed a lot of TV, but he also, because he directed that, he directed an episode of Smallville. He also directed an episode of Felicity, and then there's another one, Big Bully, My Father the Hero. Wow. Okay. Warlock. That was the one that was like, oh yeah, that movie.
So this is starring Bridget Fonda, who
Mhm.
honestly I didn't realize it was Bridget Fonda while watching it, but we'll
Nope.
get to that in a second. Bill Pullman, Brendan Gleeson with his American accent, Oliver Platt, and Betty White, who is the only thing I remembered about this movie when it came out was because Betty White, spoiler alert, was feeding and housing these crocodiles.
Betty White's the MVP of this movie, without a doubt, because Anaconda. So I hate to continue to crap on Anaconda, but the big difference between Anaconda and Lake Placid is that Lake Placid at least understands what type of movie it is. And
Uh-huh.
there is something like everybody is in on the joke and everybody gets the assignment. Um, I want to give a lot of kudos to Oliver Platt as well as
So
just
we'll
the,
get to that in a minute.
but
So
yeah,
before we dive into this, I want to highlight some of the quotes from this movie. And not surprising, most of these right off the bat are all from Mrs. Bickerman. I'm rooting for the crocodile. I hope he swallows your friends whole. You might want to arrest me for that too. Is that a crime to wish the chewing of law enforcement? Even better, if I had a dick, this is where I tell you to suck it. And remember, this is not coming out of Shane's mouth. This is coming out of Betty White's mouth.
mm-hmm.
Murderers and rapes in the city. People bomb planes. Can the police stop them? No. But feed one little to a crocodile. And then her response, thank you, Officer F me.
Yep, yep, beautiful. It's beautiful stuff right there.
This is like she is the MVP of this movie, which also, not gonna lie, Mike. So I watched the first 15 minutes of this movie, and then I had to stop to go record with for our cinematic Wasteland episode with Luke and Adam.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh no, oh no. First 15 minutes, I'm like, our lead is extremely vanilla and uninteresting, and I don't really care about her,
Yep.
portrayed by Bridget Fonda. And then I do really like Bill Pullman. And why does Brendan Gleeson sound so artificial with that American accent? But then, Mike, but then, a little helicopter flies on in, and Oliver Platt rolls up into this movie and completely redeems it because he is
Yep.
the most outside of Betty White showing up later. Oliver Platt is the most
He
entertaining
he
part of this
gives.
movie.
He is just he under. If Betty White is like the MVP of this, Oliver Platt is like second in line for this
Mhm.
because he understands full well what type of movie this is. Whereas, Bill Pullman, he has his moments. Bridget Fonda, I could have like
Pullman's the straight man
you
to the
could have
whole situation.
eliminated Bridget Fonda's character and nothing would change about the movie. But
Yeah.
Oliver Platt and Betty White make this movie what it is. Um,
Mhm.
I saw this movie in theaters when it came out. My dad and I, we did a triple feature. We watched this, we watched The Haunting, and we watched The Waterboy
Oh wow.
all in one day. This was my favorite out of all of them. I love The Waterboy, and I thought The Haunting was perfectly fine, but this movie, I agree with you like, well, 100% that like the first 15 minutes is like, oh no, this movie does not understand what type of movie it is. And then all of a sudden it flips and is like, yep, okay, it gets it. Let's just have fun with this.
So I've been a big Oliver Platt fan since The Three Musketeers from 1993, where he plays Porthos,
Hmm.
and he's one of the best parts in the whole entire movie. I
Yes.
love him being the sleazy divorce lawyer best friend from A Time to Kill
Hmm.
with Matthew McConaughey. Perfect.
Hmm.
He's great in Chef. He's killing it in The Bear. Like Oliver Platt's a gem. And he strolls up in this movie wanting to F F around and find every like wants to have sex with the female cop.
Hmm.
Just like have a fun time. But also he brings an interesting perspective to this movie of how he sees the crocodiles, and it's like, they'll never attack me. And you knew that wasn't going to be true by the end. And the moment that it finally happens was a great payoff.
Hmm.
And he's so charismatic. Brendan Gleeson is just such a grumpy bastard in this
He
movie.
this this has got to be like early in his career. This is pre Gangs of New York. This is pre anything Harry Potter. So
Yeah, because I'm looking up, he's been in 112
Jesus.
films. His career started in 1990. He was in the film Into the West
Oh,
from Mike Newell. Oh, yeah, well, he's Hamish in Braveheart. So like that was like
yes.
his first big
Hmm.
special like a Warham. Um he was in Michael Collins. But no, this was still like the 90s were like rising tide for Brendan Gleeson before you know he was in Troy and he was in AI too, Gangs of New York, Old Mountain, stuff like that, The Village. But no, Brendan Gleeson is such a jerk in this. Bill Pullman definitely is the straight man to this and romantic lead
I
with,
guess.
I guess,
Yeah.
with Bridget Fonda, which yes, Bridget Fonda is like the most uninteresting piece in this whole entire movie. Betty White's a gem.
Yep.
That crocodile's terrifying. When they did that over the top shot of it in the lake, and you just see how enormous this thing is, and you're just like,
Yeah, that's legit. Where because the thing is that that crocodile also it doesn't look bad either.
doesn't.
It looks pretty good for the 90s.
And they leaned in practical effects for it a lot, to
Hmm.
be honest. And like, you had the big CGI moment where it eats a cow.
Yeah.
And but that's still like such a shocking moment. You just see Betty White casually pulling the cow out there, and the crocodile just like waiting, and you're
Mhm.
just like, what? And then what a sequel stinger, like
Oh, no, right.
at the end with Betty White and her baby crocs.
That was a nice touch there. Another movie that got a sprawling franchise from this, but yeah, this
Why did it
I'm
take
I'm
8 years for them to make a sequel to this?
this it needed time to develop its cult following. That's
Wow, it didn't even have Chad Michael Murray. It had Chad Michael Collins in it.
ew. But I just thoroughly enjoyed my time with this. The fact that this was written by David E. Kelly as well, it brings me an endless amount of joy because a number of his TV shows I enjoyed. Like I'm a big Ally McBeal fan, and I like Big Little Lies too. So I had fun with like the dialogue I actually tolerated with
Mm.
this. Um, the story's pretty basic and it's pretty one note, but this hinges on the performances of two people and the I don't know, like the crocodile could have done more in terms of like it could have been more violent. It could have been, it could have eaten like way more people, but I don't know. I thought they did a pretty good job of kind of keeping it semi-restraint as well.
They 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 did a good job of keeping this lean.
Hmm.
They build up some good tension.
Yeah.
Like you have Deputy Burke, Jed Reeves' character, who same year as Galaxy Quest. Interesting.
Quite a
And
year.
like that moment where just like
Yeah.
head off, I'm like, oh my god.
Hmm.
Um, and it has some shocks, like second crocodile
Oh
twist,
yeah.
and then they
Yeah.
blew it up,
Yeah. That's
which is wild.
the second crocodile. I didn't I was shocked when that happened. I was like, "Oh no!" Like cuz I felt I felt that everyone was like legit in danger in this, which is weird because you would think that in Anaconda that you would feel that everybody was in
Or most of
danger.
them die,
Yeah.
but not this one, which like none of the main characters die in this movie,
Mm-mm.
which was
No, a
actually kind of surprising to me.
little bit. Yeah. Yeah, that the crocodile doesn't didn't really like kill a lot of people
Mm-mm.
in this, which
Well, to be fair, and also this movie didn't treat it like a monster.
yeah, that is true.
It's like this has been living here,
Mhm.
and we're all in its up in its business. And Betty White called them out on that. It's like nobody comes up here,
Yeah.
and they wanted to protect it and save it. And Oliver Platt, like I believed him. He was the most authentic, genuine character in this movie, despite being a f boy.
Yep. That's true. That's true. I will give you that. But you're right. His perspective on the whole situation is different because he's the one that kind of brings that context. Like, once upon a time, crocodiles were, kind of revered as gods. Like, he brings that like historical context and like he's there because he likes the idea of like kind of being around like a giant crocodile. Like
Yeah.
that's what it kind of just boils down to for him. He's fascinated by this creature
Well,
just
and
because
like,
he happens to
should
want
you
to.
destroy it?
That's that's a moral conundrum thing that between him and Betty White, that's kind of what sets this apart a little bit. Is that
It actually has something to say.
you're treating like you want to treat these animals humanely while also recognizing that these giant animals they're forces of nature and in certain other cultures they would be worshipped like it's if Anaconda would have been as self-aware as this it probably still wouldn't be good but at least it would have been a little bit more tolerable. Everybody just seems so dour and so serious in Anaconda whereas in this the light nature of it of the movie kind of helps balance out some of the more like serious and like the jump scary moments too.
Hmm. This is a fun movie, and
Mhm.
I would own this and come back to this. Nice brisk 82 minutes. Bring it on. I'm
Mhm.
down. I'm down for sure.
I can't believe you hadn't seen this yet. You mentioned that when I picked
Mm.
or when you picked it, and I was like, wow. I'm
Well,
still
it's one of
shocked
those
every
things
time I
like
find a
I
movie that
I wouldn't watch something like this when I was younger.
that's fair.
I don't know why I watched Anaconda, to be honest.
Be- because it was a giant snake, Shane. It's a giant snake.
Well, what's interesting is I actually, when I was in middle school, wrote a whole paper on crocodilians
Mm,
because I'm fascinated by them. Crocodiles, alligators, garrels, caimans. Um,
Naturally.
um, so like this would probably have actually interested me because I do think they're really cool.
Mhm.
Um, I enjoyed this. This is a fun time. 26 years later, this is a fun time.
26 years old. This Lake Placid is old enough
Rent a
to
car.
rent its own car and book its own hotels, and Anaconda is almost 30 years old, getting a requel of some type, a requel
My
reboot.
Anaconda don't. Oh my God. When I heard they were making an Anaconda reboot and it had Jack Black and Paul Rudd in it, I'm like, are they gonna like turn this into straight up comedy? And then when I saw the trailer, I'm like, this is something different.
Yeah,
So I could appreciate that for sure. But
yeah, it's I don't know what to make of the like I look Jack Black and Paul Rudd in a movie that's going to be more than enough for me. And who knows, maybe this will be maybe this will be a great Christmas present to watch this movie where it'll be super funny and it'll be just what the doctor ordered for this 2025 box office year, which has been filled with a lot of ups and downs. Or this could be the dumpster fire that I think a lot of people think that it's going to be. I don't know. So we'll see.
we shall see.
Yeah.
And Merry Christmas to your anacondas. So there you go. But Mike, thank you as always for coming on and chatting movies with me.
Thanks for inviting me. And I appreciate you indulging my weird picks from time to time.
Well, next month we're going to be hanging out in the 90s again.
Mhm.
Instead of giant creatures, still horror, we're going with Handyman. And I
Mm.
know what you did last summer.
Yeah.
And next week, Luke is going to be joining me with the duo pair of films from Akira Kurosawa, Yojimbo, and Sanjuro, which stars the same Ronin, Sanjuro, played by Toshiro Mifune.
Mm.
So I'm very excited about that. Do love me some samurai films and some Akira Kurosawa and Mifune. So that would be a lot of fun. But thank all of you for listening. Make sure to like and comment and share on this episode. What is your favorite creature feature like this? Is it one of those 90s ones? Is it Deep Blue Sea?
Mm.
Are you
Yeah.
a fan of Thomas Jane and LL Cool J? Um,
Best. eh, Listen, say what you will about Deep Blue Sea. At least Deep Blue Sea took advantage of LL Cool J's music career, whereas Anaconda had Jennifer Lopez and Ice Cube and couldn't be bothered to come up with a song for it. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
when Deep Blue Sea gets to the credits
Yeah.
and you start hearing LL Cool J song, I'm just like, damn, this is exactly what they should have been doing. Why did they
Exactly.
not do a crossover of Jennifer Lopez and Ice Cube for Anaconda? Like,
Uh,
what are you doing?
I'm telling you, it's the tone deafness of just everything with the movie.
Took
Just
itself
it
too
didn't recognize.
seriously.
It took itself way too seriously. That was the problem.
We could have had the Anaconda rap. Um, but make sure to follow or subscribe if you ever listen to your podcast. The SPM Crew Podcasting Network is ever expanding. We have so many great shows with all types of interests, not about movies. So if you love movies, but if you want to join the crew, either as a guest on one of these shows, or if you have a podcast idea of your own, make sure to reach out to us on your website. And if you like our logo, check out High Flyer Creative for all your digital marketing needs. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.